This is a special edition of KATU News on your side.
I came down here to realize it was a truck that was exploding over and over again.
This is brand new in the last 20 minutes. I-5 northbound in North Portland has reopened after a trailer carrying propane tanks caught fire early this morning. The section of freeway had been closed all day as road crews cleaned up debris and paved over the damage. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for this digital edition of KATU News at 5. I'm Steve Dunn.
I'm Deborah Knapp. Portland police are now investigating the incident because the driver of the trailer has not been found.
KATU's Emily Gersh joins us live from the scene now at an overpass on North Skidmore. Emily, you just saw the freeway reopen.
Yeah, Steve. Well, as you mentioned, the northbound lanes of I-5 just opened in the last 20 minutes or so. I'll let you see for yourself. You can see where the work was done. ODOT crews were out here since 10 a.m. repaving this section of the roadway that was badly damaged in this morning's fire.
About 4:40 a.m., I woke up to a loud bang. My brain and my eyes are rumbling.
Nicholas Jordan describing what happened this morning on I-5 between North Skidmore and Going.
I came down here to realize it was a truck that was exploding over and over again. Took a little video, went back because I was like, oh, I don't want to get hit with the propane tank flying through the air.
Portland fire and rescue crews arrived to this massive fire as seen on this video captured by a KATU viewer, and a trailer carrying more than 100 small propane tanks on the side of the road.
Upon arrival, there was one of the canisters was venting, and so there was flames sort of shooting out of the trailer.
Spokesperson Rick Graves says the tank started to pop like popcorn and fly across the freeway. Jordan tells us what he saw.
I saw one jump over to the other side of the freeway. It's gone now, but it was on the other side of the freeway.
Both sides of I-5 were closed until about 6 a.m., while fire crews dumped 5,000 gallons of water on the fire, leaving behind a mess.
We just cooled it as best as possible, and now what we see is the skeleton of the trailer itself and all the canisters that didn't explode.
Now, we still don't know the name of the company that owns this semi-trailer or the whereabouts of the driver. Portland police are now investigating this incident. They're asking anyone with information on the driver or the driver themselves to come forward and contact them. We're live in North Portland tonight. Emily Gersh, KATU News.
Emily, thank you. And thanks to all our KATU viewers who sent us video of the fire. If you see breaking news where you are, let us know about it. You can share videos and pictures on our website, KATU.com. Just look for the Chime In tab. You can also send content through the KATU News app.
Another big story we're following. The largest nurses' strike in Oregon history is underway. More than 3,000 Providence nurses at 6 hospitals across the state are striking for 3 days. This follows months of contract negotiations between the nurses union and Providence management. Providence brought in replacement workers and says all of its hospitals are fully open and functioning.
The Providence nurses ensured that the handover went well and that our replacement nurses had all of the information they needed to ensure that we were able to continue providing excellent care.
I worked yesterday and literally was tearful to leave my post. And I know that there's nurses in there that'll do the job, but they cannot do it like I can do it for our community. I would just tell you that.
Providence says it's contractually obligated to have replacement workers scheduled for a 5-day period. That means most striking nurses won't be able to return to work until Sunday, 2 days after the strike ends. We have more information about the strike, plus where each side stands in terms of contract negotiations on our website, KATU.com.
This is a big change for Portland.
City of Portland is now just over 6 months away from completely changing its form of government. To help facilitate the move, a new interim city administrator will start his job July 1st. KATU's Shelby Slaughter joins us live from City Hall. And Shelby, you talked with Michael Jordan for the first time today.
Yeah, Deb, well, many people may remember voters passed this structural change back in 2022, and now, nearly 2 years later, it's all coming to fruition.
This is a major shift. This is the most significant shift in governance that the city of Portland has seen in over 100 years.
A new form of government in Portland is just months away. Mayor Ted Wheeler tapping interim city administrator Michael Jordan to help.
We are changing from what is an anomaly in city government across the United States to what is a normal operating city government in the United States.
In 2022, voters approved the changes, including a move to ranked choice voting, expanding the city council from 6 to 12 members, and adding a city administrator. Jordan will be in that role for the next 6 months. When a new mayor takes office, they'll appoint a new city administrator.
Now, this all goes into effect officially on January 1st. It's all in an effort to make a seamless transition for the new mayor. Reporting live in downtown Portland, I'm Shelby Slaughter, KATU News.
Shelby, thank you. Tonight, the Oregon Health Authority is on high alert for more measles cases. The state confirms 2 people in Clackamas County are sick, and Marion County Health and Human Services is also tracking a case. OHA says the 2 people in Clackamas County believe they got sick in Marion County between May 19th and June 4th. All 3 patients were unvaccinated.
For decades, we've talked about the big one, a major earthquake expected to devastate the Pacific Northwest. Now we're getting a better idea of how it will happen. Researchers just put out brand new information about the Cascadia subduction zone. KATU's Allison Gottlieb is at the live desk for us now. Allison, the new data comes from a 41-day research trip.
Steve, that's right. In 2021, a research vessel sailed from Vancouver Island down to the Oregon-California border, and it was the first trip of its kind. Getting up close and personal with an underwater fall that could reshape life in the Pacific Northwest.
There have been many prior experiments looking at elements of this subduction zone, smaller areas with higher resolution ever since the mid and 1980s. But this was the first experiment that systematically with the same kind of data system got data along almost the whole subduction zone.
Ann Trehue is a seismologist who has studied the Cascadia subduction zone for years.
The hopes were to define what the subsurface structure is with current technology. So there were very few profiles across the subduction zone with state-of-the-art acquired with state-of-the-art technology.
The research trip included both students and professors who gathered data from both land and sea. Data showed this fault zone is not one continuous structure, but 4 separate segments.
Fascinating data set that, this is just the first paper to come from it and the first step in the analysis. So from a scientific point of view, there are a number of big questions that will be answered.
Trehue hopes the new data will help determine how a Cascadia subduction zone quake could impact the Pacific Northwest and what could be done to plan for it. There is still uncertainty when it comes to when the big one will hit, and the last Cascadia earthquake was in 1700. At the live desk, Allison Gottlieb, KATU News.
All right, Allison, thank you for that. A popular trail in the Columbia River Gorge is set to reopen this week following a cougar sighting. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife says the wild animal stalked a runner on the Angels Rest Trail last Tuesday. The State Parks Department says it plans to reopen the trailhead Thursday morning as long as there are no additional sightings.
Oregon lawmakers are reacting to a new immigration policy just announced by the Biden administration. It gives a pathway to citizenship for those married to a U.S. citizen. KATU's Christina Giardinelli is live in Salem after talking to Oregon lawmakers about the new policy. So, Christina, how many people would this affect?
Well, Deb, experts say it applies to about 500,000 people in the United States. In Oregon, that number is 8,000 people who would be able to get a pathway to legal citizenship through this new policy. Biden announced it today. It applies to undocumented spouses who have been in this country for at least 10 years and would also extend to their children. Oregon Democratic lawmaker Andrea Salinas praised the policy, saying it will provide relief to families in Oregon.
Today marks the most significant win for our immigrant community since the DACA program was announced around this time in 2012. Think of all the husbands, wives, mothers, fathers, and young people who can finally exhale and see a clear future for themselves.
Republican lawmaker Lori Chavez Dreamer was not available for an interview today, but sent a written statement that reads in part, "What I would have liked to hear from the president today is a plan to undo his initial executive order that sparked the unprecedented humanitarian and national security crisis at our southern border." Now, coming up after the game today, how this policy is different from the marriage visa policies already in place. For now, live in Salem, Cristina Giardinelli, KATU News.
Christina, thank you. Also tonight, Oregonians will have a new way to file their taxes next year. Today, the Treasury Department of the IRS announced Oregon will be the first new state to join the IRS's Direct File program. This started as a pilot program in 12 states last year. It offers free online tax filing directly with the IRS. The Treasury Department says more than 500,000 Oregonians will be eligible to use the program when they file their taxes next year. They hope to expand the program nationwide in the coming years. Well, this story is new at 5 now. A cat named Kevin is recovering after letting his curiosity get the best of him.
His owners say he recently stumbled upon a sewing project and tried to eat a needle. We're going to show you the x-ray, which some of you might find disturbing. Vets at Dove Lewis say the needle was lodged in Kevin's mouth, extending up into his nasal cavity. The team gently removed the needle, pulling it out whole. Kevin's family says he's made a full recovery and he's back to his curious antics.
I think he says, so what now at this point, right? Okay,
yes, so.
Hey, Davis here, talking about the weather, which is changing dramatically, isn't it?
Yeah, big change. I think, you know, today, maybe the best weather in the entire country compared to the heat we're talking about on the East Coast and the tropical storm watches and warnings we're talking about. But the heat is on here in the Pacific Northwest, so 90-degree temperatures are coming back. Now, we average about 13 days of 90-plus degree numbers, and I think so far this year we've had 5. Most ever, 31 days of 90-plus degree temperatures back in 2018. And don't forget, on Thursday, summer officially begins at 1:51 p.m. and it's going to look a lot like summer. Look at this shot now from our live camera at the Oregon coast in its Spanish Head. Blue sky, sunshine there. Been seeing some folks walking up along the beach. Temperature's not bad, sitting at 59 degrees this hour in Lincoln City. Very nice there. Stoller Estate outside of Dayton, 71 now. Again, plenty of sunshine there. And of course, downtown Portland up on top of the Standard Insurance Tower, we have 73 under fair skies. West winds are light, about 9 miles an hour. Humidity is down to 30% at this time. All right, so here are the highs today. 73 here in the Rose City. 79 for the Dows. On the coast, not bad. 65 for Astoria, 64 in Tillamook, 75 today down in Salem. Same numbers for Redmond. I get to the east side here. We have Pendleton at 79 degrees, or 74 degrees rather, 68 in LeGrand and 71 in Burns. All those numbers you saw will be up at least 10 degrees for tomorrow if you're west side of the Cascades. High pressure right here will build and will hold all across the region, giving us a very dry air mass. Bit of an offshore flow developing. That's going to allow for warmer and drier air on the east side of the Cascades to come down the gorge over the Cascades and allow temperatures to easily get into the 80s tomorrow and likely low 90s on Thursday and Friday. And again, precipitation, forget about that for the next few days. Here's our hour-by-hour forecast. May have a few morning clouds tomorrow up against the Oregon coast, but for the most part, even here, fair. There we are about 9:30, the entire length of the valley under sunny skies. There's that light offshore flow you see right there developing. Now we go in towards Wednesday afternoon. Sunshine tomorrow with highs up into the mid-80s. That's running about 10, 12 degrees above average and about 14 degrees above today. By Thursday, still fair, dry, and warm. High temperatures on Thursday, easily upper 80s to low 90s. And repeat that process going into Friday. Things will be a little bit cooler on Saturday, but not much. Substantial cooling probably does not arrive until Sunday at the earliest. Even then, it's still going to be near normal and still dry across the region. So here's the forecast tomorrow for the coast. Sunny skies, north winds about 5 to 15 miles an hour, 70 for Astoria, 67 in Lincoln City, and Newport tomorrow, you'll be at 65 degrees. Jump over the coast range in the valley, sunshine, light winds, 87 in Troutdale, 85 for Salem, 85 in McMinnville, also for Scappoose, and 82 up in the Longview area. Overnight lows upper 40s to low 50s. Now for the gorge and the Cascades, sunny skies, freezing over tomorrow about 10,000 feet, so that temperature tomorrow for Government Camp is going to be 70, 87 tomorrow in the Downs, and 84 in Hood River. Central and Eastern Oregon, sunny skies and warm here as well with light and variable winds. 85 for Pendleton. Bend, you're going to be 79 degrees. John Day at 81 and 78 out east in Baker City. So our 7-day forecast, 51 tonight for the low, 86 tomorrow. A pair of 90-degree days on Thursday and again on Friday. Saturday's going to be a little cooler at 86, then substantially cooler, but still nice on Sunday at about 72, then mid to upper 70s for Monday and Tuesday of next week, and still no rain in the forecast.
Looks beautiful.
All right, summer knocking on the door.
Yep.
That's it for this digital edition of K2 News. Thanks a lot for joining us.
We're back with more local news and weather right after Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals.